I joined the military mostly because as a way to serve my country and my community. You know, I see agriculture as a way to continue serving my community. You know, I once did it through the military, and now I'm doing it through providing food for them. I'm Josh Eilers. Used to be a sergeant in the 1st Ranger Battalion, and I transitioned from the military, and now I run Ranger Cattle here in Austin, Texas, and we specialize in full-blood Wagyu genetics as well as beef sales, direct marketing right to the people of Austin. So I was a E5, so a sergeant in the 1st Ranger Battalion, and so I went to Iraq, and I did that on 3 different deployments, and then I went to Afghanistan on my last one, and that's where I was wounded in a near ambush by the Taliban. My mother, she was always worried. Yeah, my sister, she would always stress about me being gone during multiple deployments. And eventually, you know, after kind of the 4th deployment, multiple phone calls, they're like, all right, Joshua, what are you gonna do? And, you know, luckily my sister, she was really smart and kind of took me under her wing. She's like, hey, you apply to college, we'll get you into college, but you gotta go if you get in. So she applied to the University of Texas kind of for me, and I got in. Well, I get out and I'm at the University of Texas. The next night I'm in a bar, and I overhear a conversation of this guy trying to impress this cute little girl about how he had just spent $100 on a steak. And I didn't know anything about steaks at this time. I'm like, $100? That seems a little ridiculous. So I was like, what kind of steak is that? And he said, Wagyu. I was like, why what? You know, I'd never heard of it before, so I put it in my phone, didn't even spell it right, but luckily I was close enough that I was able to do a little research on it. All that happened on Saturday night, and that next Thursday, I bought 16 bred heifers that were all Wagyu. And now we're up to about 150 head. So the Farmer Veteran Coalition, they really reached out to me, and through Facebook, I gotten connected with them because, you know, it's pretty clear that Ranger Cattle is owned by a veteran. So they reached out to me. It was like, hey, you know, are you using this Homegrown by Heroes, you know, label, and are you putting it on your beef? I said, no, I'd never heard of it. And I'm like, well, let us tell you kind of about what we do. Homegrown by Heroes is a label approved by the USDA that if you're a veteran, whether you're growing corn or raising beef cattle, whatever you're doing, if you're in agriculture and you're creating a product, you can use this label on your product, and that shows that, hey, you're a veteran and you served your country, and now you're serving your community by creating those products. They've taken really like the veteran community, and specifically a veteran community into agriculture, to a whole different level of networking that I would have never foreseen possible. You know, Michael Gorman, he really runs a show over there, and he's the founder, and he's incredible. He helps out veterans more than anyone else I know of. So Michael O'Gorman himself reached out to me. He's like, hey, have you heard of our fellowship grant? I said, no, sir, I hadn't. And he's like, well, you should sign up for it. He's like, is there anything you could use on your ranch? I was like, oh, there's a ton of things we could use. And he's like, well, what about a squeeze chute? Do you need a squeeze chute? I was like, actually, I'm dealing with this little homemade thing right now. I was like, it's getting the job done, but it ain't pretty. And so he's like, well, hey, how about we see about getting you this squeeze chute? Just apply for this grant, and we'll see what we can do on our end to make it happen. Whenever I go to like a legitimate operation, like a production agriculture, like there you always see that blue squeeze chute. So it didn't take long to realize, hey, there's something in common with all these great operations, and that's a Priefert squeeze chute. So when the Farmer Veterans Coalition, you know, told me, hey, what kind of squeeze chute do you want? It was a no-brainer. Hey, you know, I knew which one was the best, so I kind of, you know, I put that one down, never expecting them to actually approve me getting the best squeeze chute out there. So when they did, I was thrilled. I had the biggest smile on me. You know, it saved my day. It made my day.
I'm KELLEN CANTRELL, and I'm a full-time employee for Ranger Cattle. I think it's really great seeing Josh being recognized for not only his military service, but his continued service through agriculture. And I think that he's a deserving candidate because he really is an advocate for agriculture as an industry. And he's a great example of what veterans can do whenever they come back into civilian life. And I think it's inspiring for a lot of other veterans that are desiring to follow that path.
My name is Vince ZODA, and I work for McCoys here in Bastrop. I believe Josh was able to get the S04 squeeze chute, palpation cage, and a carriage to go along with that to make his equipment more mobile on his property.
When Josh came to McCoys to pick up his items, I could tell exactly who he was because he was like a little kid in a candy store. I mean, he was just grinning from ear to ear. He was like, I gotta have pictures, you know, he wanted pictures with it. He shook my hand and he gave me, I don't know, about 6 hugs.
Anybody who does receive a grant through the Farmers Veteran Coalition, I hope they would come by McCoys and we can talk about Priefert products and see what their needs might be, and we can set them up just like we did with Josh.
Without the grant from the Farmer Veterans Coalition, we'd probably still be the same size. We'd have the same amount of head, but we'd be working those head with a bigger headache. You know, that grant really made it a lot easier for us to run our operation, and it made me a happier guy because I'm not so stressed out trying to run around and get these cows and you know, worrying about the squeeze chute falling over, all the great things that Priefert chute enables us to do, you know. And production-wise, we're just able to get a lot more done throughout the day with our brand new Priefert chute. I always, in the back of my head, probably brainwashed from the military was, hey, we got to be safe in how we're operating. I think a Priefert squeeze chute really brings that safety to our operation, you know. I think it's pretty well understood that there's nothing safe about working cattle, but you know, you can probably second guess that when you're working with a Priefert chute, because you definitely feel safe. Being part of the farm to table movement kind of is everything to me. I once heard that the only thing better than great beef is when it has a great story attached to it, and I think that's what we really are able to bring to the table. I think I speak on behalf of the entire Ranger cattle family and thanking Priefert and the Farmer Veterans Coalition and McCoys for all getting together, working as a team, and really making this squeeze chute happen. It's been a game changer for us, and I think our hearts go out to you for all getting together and making it happen. So thank you.